I didn't know that there were like seasons for hunting. I don't know what I thought, but I didn't know you couldn't use a break. Reality TV. I am an absolute sucker for reality TV. That is no joke. I love reality TV. I love being a consumer. I love consuming mass media. And listen, I'm not talking about like these hotty-toddy news shows where they're like, let's take famous people who are already famous and put them in wacky situations. I want to laugh at poor people from rural areas. Let's be real. Old reality TV used to just make fun of people for being fat, dumb, or stupid. A lot of these shows would try to sell themselves as helping these people when in actuality, a lot of times they were just exploiting them. And while reality shows today often try and show people as actual human beings and not just objects on display, can you honestly tell me that this is made for better television? Listen, is it right to force your kids to go to beauty pageants when they don't want to? No, but does it make for exciting television? Yes! And there's one reality show that you'll probably never hear when it comes to these reboots. Duck Dynasty. Yeah, that bit from the beginning is making more sense now, huh? A lot of people don't realize this, but the Robertson family, the family from Duck Dynasty, has been around in the media since the 80s. In 1987, they worked on a series of home videos titled The Duckmen of Louisiana. In 2002, Willie Robertson, son of Phil Robertson, would take over the company as CEO. Shortly thereafter, in 2009, they would get their first TV show with the Outdoor Channel called Duck Commander. And all this happened before Duck Dynasty ever even aired in March of 2012. Now, before we get into the actual show, I want to address some of the controversies. Phil Robertson, the patriarch of the family, has been accused multiple times of saying both racist and homophobic statements. Surprisingly, these racist comments would not be the reason for ending the show. And in general, the show has this kind of waspy energy that can be off-putting to some viewers, which I can understand. And depending on what kind of person you are, they also supported Donald Trump, so that might be a thing for you. Obviously, given these guys are from rural Louisiana, they are going to have conservative views. And there's nothing wrong with having conservative views, but saying racist and homophobic things isn't okay. It's become this kind of strange view into the American conservative way of life and their values. And I don't think a show like this today would succeed, so I find it interesting that a show like this at one point did succeed, which made me want to look into it. The main cast of the show consists of the main Robertson family. Willie, Cy, Chip, Corey, Miss K, Jace, Jessica, Phil, and Missy. Now, I also count Godwin and Martin as main characters, but technically because they're not Robertsons, they aren't. Now, we're going to be showing some clips here, and as ritual, there will be ADHD gameplay of Subway Surfers. Most episodes of the show follow a very similar storyline. Something happens to Jace or Willie, they must go confront said problem. Somewhere along the line, they get distracted, hijinks ensues, and then they sit down for a big family dinner at the end of every episode. That's not a joke either. No matter what happened in the episode or where they are, it will always end with Willie giving some life lesson that he learned during the episode as we watch everyone enjoy a family meal. Willie and Jace usually occupy the main storyline with whoever else tags along with them, while the other family members usually get used as B and C stories. One of the most interesting things I found while researching these guys was just how differently their previous shows Duck and Buck Commander had portrayed the family compared to Duck Dynasty. I'm going to show you two promos and you tell me if you can spot the difference in tone.
This summer, Bonelli takes you behind the scenes of Duck Commander Company and invites you to meet the Robertsons, the first family of duck hunting.
When duck season opens, we start hunting until duck season closes.
Cut 'em. Hidden away in the Louisiana backwater, the duckmen have remained elusive and mysterious for 3 decades.
Why are you sticking your belly out?
Trust me, he's not trying.
It's like falling off a bicycle, okay? You never forget.
Falling off the bike?
I done told you, that cup has sentimental value.
Sentimental.
Bam!
You add camouflage to anything, it immediately becomes cool.
Duck Dynasty clearly had a more comedic tone to it, and I think partially because of Willie's takeover of the company. And I think in that time it would be where Willie developed the idea of making the show more comedic and selling it as a reality show. The show follows a number of plot lines over its seasons, from following the Robertson kids, primarily how all they do is watch phone and not know how to poop in woods. Both Lil Will and Jean-Luc got absolutely snubbed in screen time. One of the plot lines also followed Willie wanting to open up a restaurant. This happened over a number of episodes, and one of which included where they sold Asian carp to unknowing guests.
Giant.
There's one right there.
Things look like dolphins. Look at that sucker jumping up there.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at that. Oh, I want him. Dadgummit.
Oh, right there.
It's rough.
It's bad. My nose is itching.
Who knows? This could be some kind of weird cologne.
The flies ain't even landing on these things.
I take that as a I would say that is the greatest carp I've ever eaten.
You never.
50 pounds of stinky, bottom-feeding carp.
Oh, yeah.
Great. It's hard to get good.
Got fish?
Yeah, we got fish.
Thank goodness.
Hey, there you go.
Godwin, we're not supposed to be eating the food.
I'm quality checking.
Well, the FDA has no ban on Asian carp, so I guess it's on the menu. Plus, what my customers don't know won't hurt them. Unless it gives them food poisoning, that will definitely hurt them and close down my business.
Side note, this is like a totally different thing, but that's actually a super common practice in the restaurant industry to sell fish under a different name for much higher prices. The show seems to try and balance between a boomer sort of I hate my wife attitude and a millennial XD so random comedy, and most of the comedy is provided by probably the show's most infamous member, Uncle Si.
Store. That's what I'm talking about.
Is he like right?
This man is nuts.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Charlie's around. Monkey's around. Okay.
Hey, what are y'all laughing about?
Si, we're deer hunting.
Sure it is. Hey, it's radio. It's like NASCAR or figure skating. They only watch it to see the crash. We was 19 years old.
That's a lie. Maybe my eyes are watered.
No. You have to give the audience what they want, and look, I'm giving them what they want.
Si is literally a chaos god that has escaped into our world. From locking people in a storage container to exploding a beaver dam with napalm, Si is an ancient deity whose power has no bounds in our realm. The entire show feels like a bunch of Studio C skits that forgot all the irony. Every episode, in some fashion, they absolutely jumped the shark, and as the series went on, they needed to find bigger and better things, and in doing so, lost of what made the show feel real in the first place. As the show got bigger and the family got more successful, it stopped feeling like you were watching a family come from success by pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, and more so just rich people bragging about the cool toys that they can buy. I should note that the show barely had any reality to begin with. Even in the first season, it felt sometimes scripted and forced. One final thing for the voiceover, every time they change locations in the show, they have a little geotag on the bottom with some sort of clever title for the segment, and I just think that's a great way to transition your episodes. So what's the point here? What's the big takeaway? I will be honest, I genuinely don't think I have one for you. These guys won the game. They figured out how to be rich. Even after Phil made all those comments, they still make money with their products, and they still have a show, Buck Commander, that is making shows in 2023. I think Duck Dynasty is really interesting because it's a view of how conservative America sees itself. It was the last time America really saw this idolized version of the conservative lifestyle. Now, are you going to be brainwashed into a Christian who votes for Donald Trump after watching Duck Dynasty? No, absolutely not. The show is not political in the slightest, except for the vague comments that they make here and there. And while I think Duck Dynasty has kind of been put on a shelf by many people and forgotten to the ages, it had 11 seasons. It was not an unpopular show. And I think that's why I find it so interesting. Something that today probably would never get made was viewed by millions of people not too long ago. But I think if there's any lesson to be learned here, it's just remember that these are characters on TV, and the people who portray them only come out when the cameras are off.